and the Nazis that are dark MAGA. And, it's not surprising that these people are saying the quiet part out loud. It really isn't. Amanda points out something here. She says, Trump doesn't care if they're qualified. He's a fascist. Loyalty is the only qualification. And you're right, Amanda. You're right. Because that's what fascists want. They want loyalty to their regime. Speaking of loyalty to their regime, I don't know if you guys have seen or heard of JD Vance. JD Vance is the guy who wrote a book and made a movie about country people becoming elites and leaving behind their country, their country roots, their redneck roots, and becoming elites. Now he's a traitor to his culture, I guess you would say. But JD Vance loves Hitler. He's in love with Hitler, America's Hitler, that is. JD Vance has been discovered that he texted his roommate in 2016 when Donald Trump was running. He called Donald Trump at the time America's Hitler. JD Vance, the guy running for Senate in Ohio, who just received America's Hitler's endorsement. And this is how Hitler works. This is how it works, folks. JD Vance isn't wrong about America's Hitler. Trump, that is, being America's Hitler. Not wrong. And it is evident in JD Vance himself. He proves it outright. That the fascist regime, the fascist that is Donald Trump, America's Hitler that is Donald Trump, even though he's a nincompoop Nazi, because let's face it, he is a nincompoop Nazi. The whole point is that when you need to get power yourself or maintain your own power, you will capitulate to the regime. You will capitulate to fascism. So yeah, JD, he is America's Hitler. Now listen to what JD said on Steve Bannon's Traitor TV. Speaking of fucking dark MAGA and Nazis, JD Vance appears on Steve Bannon's Traitor TV here. But listen to the sound of JD Vance, how much he loves America's Hitler. Let's listen.
Make the case right now. You got a couple of minutes. Make the case to make Trump to say, this is my guy.
Because I agree with Trump. He's certainly the best president of my lifetime. He was a fighter for people that I care about more than any politician in this country in 30, 40 years. I'm on the team, as the president said. JD gets it. I'm actually going to stand for the president.
So basically, JD Vance is saying, I love the president. I love Trump. Trump's my guy. Trump loves me because I love him. It's exactly what Amanda is saying, is that it has nothing to do with qualifications. JD Vance may not even be qualified to be dog catcher, but he definitely is loyal to America's Hitler. And the reason why is because JD Vance loves fascism. That's the secret here, folks. Trump is not the fucking problem. Trump is the symptom. Dark MAGA, fascism in our country, people greedy for American authoritarianism, that's the problem, folks. That's the problem. It's American, this longing for American authoritarianism that is our problem. Trump is just the symptom. Trump is just the symptom. Hell, Hitler was a symptom in Nazi Germany. The disease was their longing for authoritarianism, for someone to wave a magic wand and to fix all their problems. And that's just not the way it works in society. Not everyone's problems are fixed with one swing of the wand. Now, JD Vance believes that because JD Vance believes he's an elite. And elites typically believe that when the magic wand is waved, it is waved in their favor. Just like Steve Bannon and Donald Trump and all the other sycophants that have continued on this scourge for authoritarianism. So JD Vance suckles at the teat of America's Hitler. And this is dark MAGA. This is it right in front of you. And the reason why it's dark MAGA is because JD Vance is the dog and dark MAGA is the tail. And the tail is wagging the dog. JD Vance is not capitulating to Donald Trump because he thinks Hitler good. He doesn't care if Hitler's good or not. He doesn't care if Hitler's good for you or not. He doesn't care if there's equality. He doesn't care if there's equity. He's a rich white elite. He made it. He made it out of being a redneck. He made it. He's now an elite. He ain't got to worry about all that shit. MJ said he's got eyeliner on. He probably has to worry about his eyeliner. He might have to. I don't know. Maybe he's wearing makeup. Maybe he's not. And maybe that's, maybe what he's showing off for Trump here is his makeup skills. I mean, Trump requires makeup skills. That's why I never figured out why Trump likes Bannon. Jesus Christ, this guy, fuck. You couldn't put enough makeup on this motherfucker. But dark MAGA, the alt-right, the fascists in this country, the white supremacists, the Nazis in this country are the tail that are wagging the dog. And they want authoritarianism. They want it bad because they know what authoritarian brings. Authoritarianism brings them the ability to take away consent from you about your children. Take away your consent. They know what it will do is give them the ability to tear down the public education system. So that way they can indoctrinate children into their way of being. And they can also marry them. That's what they want to do. They want to marry children. They don't want children to be educated enough not to know not to marry them. I mean, what I mean by that is old white men want to marry little girls. They also don't want you to be smart enough to know about equality and equity or have the brains enough to know that gender is not sexualized. They don't want you to know that gender has nothing to do with sexuality. They don't want you to know that. They don't even want you to do math in Florida. They're like, math? Fuck math. We're banning all math books. Fuck math. We're not doing that. We're for division, just not long division. That's dark MAGA. That's where we're at, folks. And it's going to continue. It's going to continue. It's not going to stop. It's not like dark MAGA is the last stop in American authoritarianism. It's not. It's not the last stop. They're going to rebrand. Dark MAGA is the alt-right. The fucking tiki torch motherfuckers that showed up at Charlottesville, that's dark MAGA. That's dark MAGA. It's the same motherfuckers. It ain't like people woke up this morning and decided, well, we're dark MAGA now instead of the alt-right. We're not Trump supporters anymore. We're dark MAGA. And they're looking for revenge. And the revenge they're looking for is to revenge on our democracy. Because they really are pissed off that they weren't able to tear down our democracy on January 6th. They're really fucking pissed about it. They weren't able to overthrow our Constitution. They're so upset about it that they're still trying to overturn elections inside of states. Our vote. Trying to overturn and overthrow our vote. It's ours, not theirs. Joe Biden is not the United States president. He's our president. We elected him, just like we elected Barack Obama. We elected Donald Trump. We elected George W. Bush. As much as people don't like it, we did that. And we did it under our election system. The same way we've been doing it for several decades under our election system. With the primary process, the general election process. And we have an election coming up. The 2022 midterms. And it's up to us, the pro-democracy people, to make sure that American authoritarianism does not take control in this country. And I'm not just talking about in the United States House of Congress. I'm talking about in the Senate. I'm talking about in the state governorships. I'm talking about in the state legislators, your county commissions, your city councils, your school boards. This is all important that dark MAGA, the alt-right, the nincompoop Nazis, as they are, do not take over control and do not push American authoritarianism. We cannot let authoritarianism take hold in this country. We must not let authoritarianism take control of our country. And the way we do that is to be pro-democracy all the time, everywhere. All the time, everywhere. We have to have strategic outrage. We have to have our messaging together. That's important. And they're giving us all the messaging we need because, folks, the generic ballot, the people out there who don't pay attention to politics but are going to go vote against something, we have to give them something to vote against. We must. Our messaging is important. We can't just say go vote because Democrats want to give you this. Democrats want to give you that. Look, Republicans, the change that is coming with Republicans, you can see it all around you. They want to ban math books. They want to marry your children. They want to take women's bodily autonomy away. So much so that they don't have liberty. The women's vote is next. Heck, they're trying to stop black people from voting. They're stopping groceries from coming into our country to damage Joe Biden in the next election. Greg Abbott is stopping groceries from coming in our country. Think about that for a second. You don't think that's a good way for Texas? That's the change that Texas wants, is to make sure that groceries get on their shelves. Because we literally have empty shelves. Abbott down in Texas trying to stop groceries from coming in our country. Yes, he turned his policy around. But the fucking Republican kid diddlers in Tennessee turned their policy around after they told us, yeah, I want to marry a 14-year-old girl. That's what they said. By not having an age limit in their law, they're trying to use discrimination against LGBTQ community to pass a law to where they can marry children. And they're like, oh, wait, you caught us being pedophiles. Well, we're not pedophiles. Yes, you are. Greg Abbott's like, oh, you caught me, stopping groceries at the border, groceries that Texas definitely need to eat, and for grocery store shelves to be full. And he tuck-tailed and run. No, he still owns that. Just because a Republican decides not to do something doesn't mean they won't do it again. You think Greg Abbott won't try to hurt Texans because he thinks it's politically good for him? Come on now. He's going to do it over and over. He did it with the power grid. He did it with groceries. You don't think that Republicans, these pedocons all around the country who are trying to sexualize your kid's gender and who are trying to marry your fucking children, trying to take away an age limit on marrying children, you think they're just going to stop wanting to marry children just because they took it out of this bill? What about the next bill? That's all they're fucking focused on. They can't focus on anything else but taking people's liberty away from them. And you don't think they'll come for you? These are the people you want in charge of your economy? These are the people you want in charge of your children's education? The ones who want to marry your kids? You want to rely on these people to be in charge of your gas prices? The people who are making sure to stop groceries from being on the grocery store shelves? That's who you want in charge of gas prices? The Republicans, the kid diddlers, the pedocons, the GQP, dark MAGA, the nincompoop Nazis? That's who you want in charge of our economy. That's who you want in charge of our children's education. That's who you want in charge of our health care. Those folks. That's the messaging.